Staying with you, actually, Oliver, I'd like to ask you. You mentioned about qualifications right at the beginning. If a 16 to an 18-year-old approached you and said, "Look, I'm interested in a career in sport and exercise science. What qualifications do I need?" What would you say?
The first thing would be a degree. But one of the best things that came out of my degree was the opportunities that Bournemouth provided me to do sort of extra qualifications. So I did my FA level 2 coaching football. I got a qualification in working with disabled children. I got a qualification in teaching badminton. Any qualification that was put on offer to me, I just took it and embraced it with open arms, because I think you never know when it could come in use. So when I look now at something as simple as some of the warm-ups that I do, I will look back at what I learned in different aspects of qualifications and try and put it into what I'm doing in my day-to-day job. So obviously your degree is probably the big one, but I would say do as much as you can outside of that and get as many qualifications as you can, whether or not you think they might be relevant, because they will undoubtedly become relevant the further along you go in your career.
Amy, I guess if somebody's thinking about going to university, it's a really big decision to make about which is the right university to go to. And I don't want to start any university wars on this webinar, because I know a couple of you work for unis, but how important is it for a young person to do their research and make sure it's the right university for them to study their sport and exercise science degree?
I think one of the most important things is around what they want from the degree. So there are some very good universities in and around not just the Northwest, but the whole country. So Leeds Beckett, for example, is a really highly respected university for sport and exercise science, as is Liverpool John Moores University. I think one of the most important things to do is research kind of the specific area of sports science that you might be interested in. So if it's physiology, biomechanics, psychology, and look at maybe the people that work there, and look at the links that the university has to different clubs, different opportunities. So something that like we really pride ourselves on is our links to, especially football. We've got Liverpool and Everton in the city, and we provide opportunities for students to kind of be exposed to them environments. Again, we've got different rugby clubs surrounding the city, and again, it's all about what's your sport, what's your discipline, and who works at the university potentially that you might be interested in learning from. So they're some of the things. One of the main things as well that students look at is the city itself. So do I want to be in a city that is, more rural, more kind of vibrant? And I know that's kind of less about the degree in the university, but I do think that's a really important thing for a student to consider. And again, I'm very biased, but Liverpool is a pretty cool city to be in.
Don't want to start university wars now, people, honestly. But actually, Amy, in all seriousness, you make a really good point, because again, if I was a young person looking to go to university, but I wanted to sports career, sport and exercise science career in football, I wouldn't necessarily choose a university that is steeped in history with rugby, for example. So for you, Adam, how crucial is it when someone is looking at a university that they align it to the sports that they want to work in the future?
Yeah, I think to echo some of the points that Amy made, I think if you consider that, if we look at sport and exercise science degrees, I don't think I'm going to be breaking any state secrets here when I say that if you're doing a true sport and exercise science degree, you're going to do physiology, psychology, biomechanics, research methods, something to do with employability, those sorts of things. So the advice that I tend to give to young people when they're looking at choosing degree courses is, yeah, you need to appreciate the course content and those sorts of things, but what else comes along with part of that? What are the other opportunities that are there? What are the facilities that you're going to be able to access and use to support your learning? Placement opportunities, additional study opportunities, and just remembering that going to your degree course is one part of why you go to university. It's it's part of a wider process of growing and developing as a person, as an individual. So from that perspective, yeah, if you've got a real interest in one particular sport, then there are universities that might specialise in those, and there are even degree courses that specialise in those individual sports. But one of the things that is becoming, again, much more prominent is how much sports are learning from each other as well, and how actually, if you kind of go down that route of only being involved in one sport and only having an interest in one sport, you might end up doing yourself a little bit of a disservice in the longer term, and actually exposing yourself to what some of the working cultures that can take place in different sports can provide some real valuable learning experiences. So for me, the advice that I always give to young people when they're looking at choosing their degree course is about the whole picture. It's the people. It's who you're going to be exposed to. It's how the teaching and learning practices are undertaken. All those sorts of things, and they're all really important parts of the decision making process. In terms of sport and exercise science, for example, is the degree course endorsed by the British Association of Sport and Exercise Sciences as part of their undergraduate endorsement scheme? We know that's an important part in terms of later steps down in terms of your professional journey. So all those sorts of things can play a really important part of the decision making.
Also, for you, Danny, how important is it for somebody to, maybe a young person, go and have a conversation with somebody who works in sports science?
I think it's huge. I think just jumping back quickly on some of the points covered from the rest of you guys on here now is academically, I think it's almost a given now in terms of people applying for roles in high performance that they've got a degree, and to some extent, a lot are now having masters. From my side, I think that's just a tick in the box and a more to be expected. But I mean, I've recruited a lot now over the last 15 years into sport as practitioners and various roles. And for me, it's the bits that sit in between the academic knowledge, which is what makes people stand out. So, I mean, like Ollie talks around your coaching experience, your ability to go and, like you say, speak to people, understand the environment that you're wanting to work in. For me, it's academic knowledge is one side, but what's going to stand you out in sport is that, for me, it's a people's business, and your ability to interact with people, communicate in a way that's going to sit at their level and not at an academic level is basically what I look for in high performance sport. And I will kind of stand here and say, from my side, that is what really makes the difference and can help deliver performance.